politically, but also financially and militarily. Ukraine's defense is European defense, so that's why we are also working on next packages to help you with the military needs. When it comes to also politically supporting you, then we are working on the 19th package of sanctions to put more pressure on Russia to really end this war. Russia's economy is already weak. We are making it weaker by our sanctions so that they would finish and stop funding this war. Of course, the winter is coming. We see Russia has increased attacks on the civilian infrastructure to cause as much suffering for the Ukrainian people for the winter, and that's why also Europe stands ready to support Ukraine in this to help to repair the critical infrastructure and energy in particular. So we are working on a support package here. What you also mentioned, the tribunal, I think this is very important because there couldn't be any just peace without accountability. We set up the special tribunal for the crimes of aggression, but now we are providing also funding for this tribunal and also calling on other member states, countries, participants to that to fund it so that the work can really start full scale, because without accountability there is no just and a lasting peace. And finally, what you also mentioned, the EU accession process. Ukraine's future is in Europe. There is very clear. Ukraine has done a lot of work on their side to really deliver on the conditions, and we are working also on our side to go forward with the accession process to really show hope for the Ukrainian people. And finally, on the funding, of course, the question is the needs are huge. We need to support Ukraine so that Ukraine can defend itself, and we don't have to make so many investments on reparation of those critical infrastructure. But it's also important that we are working on the use of frozen assets via this reparations loan. It is clear that Russia owes for the damages that it has caused to Ukraine, and therefore we have come up with this reparations loan scheme. So we hope that it goes through and Ukraine can use the funding really for the needs it has. So the work is still ongoing, but we hope that we are able to do this fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Переходимо до частини запитань-відповіді. Перше запитання, будь ласка, від телеканалу «Ми Україна».
Дякую за можливість. Олена Чернікова, телеканал «Ми Україна». Пане президенте, перше питання до вас. 2 розмови за 2 дні ви мали із президентом Трампом. Зараз наша українська делегація вже в Штатах. А чи ви плануєте до них долучитися? Тому що в ЗМІ вже з'явилася така інформація. І так, перше питання, чи отримали ви таке запрошення від президента Сполучених Штатів? Ну і якщо так, то яких рішень чекаєте від цієї зустрічі? Томагавки, ППО, можливо, щось, що я не врахувала. And my second question for Ms. Kallas. First of all, thank you for your support. And as you today mentioned that Moscow has to pay for this war, not European taxpayers. That's why my question will be about 19th sanction package. We know that now Hungary and Slovak trying to postpone the adoption of this package. That's why my question, does it mean that decision will not in the summit because of their resistance? Or you have some scenario how to overcome this veto? Thank you so much.
Окей. Дякую за запитання. У нас була 2 розмови з президентом Трампом. Ми обговорювали, в принципі, ті питання, про які ви сказали. Ми обговорювали російські атаки на нашу енергетику, цивільну інфраструктуру. Ми обговорювали питання ППО, обговорювали питання енергетики. Це виклик, це зрозуміло. Також ми говорили про нові далекобійні спроможності України, і ми про це з ним говорили детально. Нам не вистачило одного дзвінку. Ми домовилися наступного дня, в неділю. Ми в більш ширшому колі говорили з ним і обговорювали вже більші деталі саме тих викликів і саме того, що ми хочемо і чого очікуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, де ми бачимо їх підтримку. Ми обговорили поле бою, співпадає, що у Росії нічого не виходить. Ми обговорили деякі питання такі сенситивні, і цієї розмови нам не вистачило, хоча вона була предметна. Команда вже поїхала, прем'єр-міністр Юлія Сверденко, голова Офісу Андрій Єрмак, голова Ради національної безпеки і оборони Рустем Умєров і деякі представники нашого дипломатичного сектору. Вони поїхали, буде кілька зустрічей, ну і я на цьому тижні зустрінусь в Вашингтоні з президентом Трампом. Я думаю, що нам потрібно обговорити послідовність кроків, які я хочу запропонувати президенту.
Thank you for your question. It is the 19th package of sanctions, and every time we have had difficulties because we are 27 member states and 27 different democracies. So it is, the debates are ongoing. We are trying to get to a result by the European summit that is happening next week. But even if we are not able to deliver next week, then the work is ongoing, and I'm positive that eventually we will have the result and decision like we have had before. Thank you.
Дякую. Наступне запитання, будь ласка, New York Times.
Hi there, Gina Smilik from the New York Times. Thank you for taking our questions. President Zelenskyy, I was wondering if you could possibly tell us a little bit more about your meeting with President Trump. When are you expecting it to be? What will you be asking for? What kind of deliverables might we expect out of that meeting? And then HRV Kaja Kallas, I wonder if you could tell us, what your view is on the American role now and sort of how Europe can support that.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. So I hope that I will have possibility to come to Washington and have a meeting on Friday with President. And of course I have some more meetings which are also important for me. Some military companies which are important. I want to not to share details about it, and also maybe also some meetings with senators, congressmen. So so the main topic is air defense, and also I will have meeting with energy companies. I needed, that was a proposition from President, and yes, and I will have meeting with some companies because there are some needs, what we need now because of different format of attacks, even not those attacks which Russia already did. Yes, but we have to prepare in any case. So it will be helpful. And so air defense, the main topics are air defense and our possibilities with long range to pressure on Russia.
It is clear that we all want this war to end. Ukraine wants this war to end. Europeans want this war to end. Also, America wants this war to end. So the only one who doesn't want this war to end is Russia. So our call to all allies is to help Ukraine militarily so that they can defend itself and push back Russian aggression. And our call to everybody is also follow our sanctions to put the pressure on Russia so that they will run out of means to fund this war so that this war can end. Thank you.
Наступне запитання, будь ласка, Reuters.
Доброго дня, пане президенте, дякую за можливість. Хотіла запитати Ви завжди наголошуєте на тому, що важливо не тільки модель зброї, а й кількість, яка нам поставляється. І, власне, по томагавкам, скільки б ми хотіли, не скільки нам дадуть, навіть не скільки ми просимо, скільки б ми хотіли. І питання також, як ми будемо це фінансувати. Ми розраховуємо, що ми зможемо профінансувати це за рахунок репараційного кредиту, за рахунок російських заморожених активів, чи через механізм Pearl, чи через нашу мега-діл з US. Які тут опції. І one more for High Representative. You said today that you welcomes all the tools that can make Ukraine stronger. That is include Tomahawk, and if so, EU will be ready to finance that via Russian frozen assets or no? Thank you.
Про кількість і про можливості поки що говорити рано. Хоча, скажу відверто, я поділився з президентом Трампом нашим баченням. Вже. Але деякі такі речі, напевно, не для телефонної розмови, тому ми зустрінемось з ним. Друге, яким чином фінансувати? Ви абсолютно праві. У нас є поки що саме ці три, вони непогані варіанти. Один з варіантів – це натівська програма Pearl. Через неї ми працюємо. Працює НАТО, НАТО закуповує за свої гроші у Америки зброю різного характеру і потім передають нам те, що ми потребуємо, передають. Напевно, НАТО може закуповувати ще якусь додаткову зброю для себе, так, але я думаю, що ми точно можемо використовувати цей інструмент. А друга – це історія з окремо просто напряму. Ми можемо через мегаділ, це велика історія, до неї ще треба дійти. Хоча деякі речі, які в мегаділ є, ми, в принципі, і піднімаємо відповідне питання. І які ще? Так, заморожені активи – це гарний варіант точно. Але там треба ще все вирішити. Поки що, в принципі, більшість лідерів позитивно дивляться на цей механізм, але це, якщо буде це спочатку політичне рішення, ви ж знаєте, як в політиці, це буває спочатку політичне рішення, а потім вже завантаження всіх інших механізмів. А тут треба вирішувати трішки, на мій погляд, можна вирішувати трішки швидше.
Yes, thank you for the question. It is clear that the military needs that Ukraine has, I mean, Ukraine knows the best, whether it's Patriots, whether it's Tomahawks, whether it's all the capabilities you can mention. So it is not up to us to say, but Ukraine to say what they really need. What we are trying to do is help Ukraine with this needs, and that's why we are discussing also different initiatives, how we can help Ukraine. When it comes to the frozen assets, then this reparations loan that is based on the frozen assets and based on the idea that Russia owes Ukraine for the damages that it has caused here, then it should be up to Ukraine to decide also for what this money is used.
Будь ласка, останнє запитання, Bloomberg.
Hi, this is Andrea Palashana from Bloomberg. Mr. President, hello? Okay, yes. Your country has a difficult situation when it comes to energy. I want to ask you, what exactly do you need from the EU in terms of energy? How are you planning to get through the winter? And Madam Kallas, if you could also tell us, apart from what you've mentioned today, the 100 million, if you could tell us, like, what exactly you can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. So if we will have problems with electricity after one or another attacks, we will need input. But by the way, we used these possibilities all these winters during this war. And this line for us is open. And so this is important. That is first. The second point, they attack our gas storages, and that's why, of course, they attack water supplies and a lot of our gas infrastructure. So we already began to speak about some import of gas. We have our estimation what we will need So, but mostly it's about money. So for today, gas it's not a problem. The problem is to have enough money, enough funds for this gas. We understand where to buy. We understand the price. We have some partners who just they don't ask for money. I mean, they just deliver, like our Norwegian partners or our EU partners, and we count on it also. And also it can be some representatives of Middle East. We used our relations last winter. So we understand where to buy. The question is also always is where to get enough money, but we will manage it.
The first side of this is really to help Ukraine to defend itself, because if Ukraine is able to defend itself, then this critical infrastructure is not damaged. I think this is the first line that we have to work on. The second line, what our energy people are working on, is to really what kind of help Ukraine needs to repair this infrastructure, to protect this infrastructure, so that people would have heat, people would have water, people would have energy for the upcoming cold winter. But the work is ongoing and hopefully will be finished soon.
Дякую. На цьому прес-брифінг добіг кінця. Дякую.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Дякую.
Thank you.
Колеги,